I will hand over to Cheng Hong now, product owner, Asia, to give you a insight product demo of e-invoicing. Over to you, Hong.
Okay, thank you, Erin. So let me see, know if you can see my screen, okay? All right.
Yes.
So, good morning, everyone. This is Hong. So, like what Erin said, before you really can start the transmission from UBS, basically you need to do a very simple step, and yet it is very important step. So you need to add UBS as intermediary. Okay, so assuming you already add UBS as intermediary, then yeah, and you already get the workspace account. So now what you need to do is, after you install the latest version of UBS, basically you can see there's a new icon called IAM at the bottom right. So before you activate this service, it actually shows its red color. So what you need to do is just right click on the little small icon, then click on connect. So basically system actually really direct you to the workspace page. Then you just need to log in with your workspace credential. Then like what my screen is showing now, basically I already have the credential login and it shows successfully. All right, so meaning I already have the connection enabled. So before I also can transmit, I need to make sure in my UBS. All right, I will just show the actual screen from UBS. So what you need to do is you need to go to the inventory and billing, and then our invoice module. Yeah, so basically if you're on this latest version, you can see there's a new menu called eInvoicing at the left panel. And then what you need to do is, first you need to go to configuration. Like what Irene mentioned just now, the difference between the configuration and mapping is configuration is something new into in the UBS system which did not exist before, but require for LHDN invoice submission. And for the mapping, which is something you already exist in the system, which is something like the UOM, you're being used for so many for quite some times right there. But because the term that you use in UBS is different, and then we actually need a standard code for LHDN's invoice submission. So that's why we provide this mapping for you without interrupting your existing business. All right. So first, I just want to walk you through for the company configuration. And then here, this is what your company profile information. So all the existing information we will be duplicating from your existing company profile to the screen, except those new field, for example, maybe the city, town, which is required, and state, the postal code, country, especially the MSIC code. If you are not using our GST version before, definitely you need to add this MSIC code. So how to do that? Basically, you just need to click on add, and then just click on add again. And then from here, you can just click on the drop down. Then basically we will show you the list given from LHDN. All right. If you think this list is too long for you to search through, then you can just maybe type in the most relevant one to you. For example, maybe software. Yep, then you can just select the best code applicable to your business. All right. So after added, then this will be the list. Then of course, this is only on the company level. And then in our system, I will show you how to actually assign to the item level. And I will explain why we want you to assign to the item level. All right. And not to forget the invoice start date, because we understand that there are 3 different tiers in for the invoice. So basically for the first tier, we will started from 1st August, and then the default date for this one will be 1st August. All right. And the second tier will be on the 1st January, which is next year, and the last batch will be on the 1st July 2025. So the e-invoice start date is a feature to help you to filter out those transactions before your e-invoice start. All right, so that you wouldn't mix that up and submitted the wrong invoice, which is actually under your fixes. All right. Then the most important part is also the TIN number. So make sure you have entered the TIN number and the correct business registration number on the screen. And then if everything is in place, just to click on the three dot to enable the LHDN submission services. Right. So click on the three dot and then click on the acknowledgement. And then from here, just select whatever from the list. This is actually related to the workspace organization. So without the connection to the IM, you won't be able to see the workspace organization in this screen, and you are not able to do the activation for eInvoice. All right. So just select and then click on activate. All right. So now my service to the LHTN is activated. And the next step is, after I already confirm that all my company info is correct, then the next step is I should also make sure my customer info is also correct. So here we actually providing two different views for you. The first view is about the list view. So from this view, it's very convenient for you to see which customer has the TIN and then which doesn't have. So for those doesn't have, maybe you need to check with your customer to get the TIN and then put into our system. All right. Then of course, if you want to edit, maybe for the particular customer, you can just click on action button. That system actually will bring you over to the full view. All right. So from here, nothing special. It's almost similar to what you have in your company profile, because whatever in your company profile is also applicable to your customer. All right. It's just that the recipient party is different. So from here, you also need to have your customer BRN if they have. And then, of course, the address you must maintain, and city, town, state, postal code, country, all are mandatory. All right. Then if you want to enter the TIN number for your customer, just simply click on this action button, key in the number, then click on save. All right. And then you can do the same also for your supplier. So check through the TIN number, and if you want to edit, either you want to click on the action button here, or you can go to top right. The system which will bring you to the same screen. Right. And very, very important step. Before you can really see the transaction in the outgoing dashboard, you must make sure in the list view, set the default send method or customer to LHDNM. By default, this is blank. So what you need to do is just setting the send method by customer line by line. I know you have a lot of customer because of this is very huge, and then you don't need to spend so much time on that setting. So what you need to do is just click on the default and then set to HDN. The system actually will show all these transactions into the outgoing dashboard. So you can do the same for your supplier. All right. So after the customer and supply configuration is completed, and then now let's move to MSIC. So like I said just now, we understand that some of the business, maybe they have more than one MSIC code. And actually we make a little bit special compared to other products. Actually, we allow you to maintain multiple MSIC code in the system. And then system actually depends on the MSIC code that you assign to the item. Based on the particular transaction, we will detect, and then we found that, okay, this is the actual MSIC code, then we just transmit the MSIC code based on the transaction by item to LHDN. Instead of always passing the first MSIC, now actually we are making it flexible. And if you think that you don't need this flexibility, you can always select the default MSIC. So for example, if let's say I just maybe have one MSIC, why you want to ask me to assign to multiple items, because I could have maybe 1,000 over items, right? I don't want to spend that much of time. So what you need to do is just click on the drop down at the top and then select the item that you want to assign the same MSIC, or you can select all. It depends on you. So just click on add. The system actually will assign the rest for you, so that you don't need to worry. You need to assign, maybe spend a whole day just to assign the MSIC, right? Okay, so the same, if I want to change it back, so I just select the same, then I select multiple items, and then just click on add. That's it. All right, then of course, we also provide you some other flexibility, like if let's say you are selected wrongly, you also can change by the MSIC itself, I mean by line. All right. So the same thing also, remember to assign the MSIC to your service item if applicable. All right, so now come to the address. So basically what is address? This is the additional address that you have maintained in your address maintenance. If you are familiar with UBS, basically you can maintain this one. And the purpose for this address maintenance is to allow you to have to maintain multiple addresses. Maybe your customer have different warehouse, you want to maybe deliver to different addresses. So basically you can maintain this one in the address maintenance. Then of course, based on according to HTN, you also need to make sure the required info is being updated to your delivery address. So how to do that? Just click on the action button, make sure the city, town, state postcode, and also the ID is maintained correctly, included the TIN number. All right. So if everything is okay, just click on save to confirm the change. It's a very simple setup. And yeah, so after the configuration, now let's move to the mapping, which is your existing info, but we want to ensure that the code we transmit to HTN is the one they are looking for, not the one you maintain in UBS. All right. So for example, maybe the classification code, because in your system you already have your own item code, but because that one is only within our system, but actually they have their standard code for the item. All right. So for example, I already have my item list, and then you can see I have table, I have chair. Then for the classification code, I just select from the list. Same thing. If you think the list is too long, just key in the keyword, and the system actually will bring you that. So for example, maybe this one I just put others. Then you can just select from the list. Right, you don't need to go through the full long list, and then sometimes maybe your eyes will be pain also. All right, so after the setting is completed, I mean, this one actually is similar design to the MSIC, so we want to make it consistent across so that it's easy for you to learn, also to maintain in the future. All right, so same thing, make sure you also have the MSIC or the classification code maintained for your services, if there is. All right, and then the next one is about the currency. So basically, if you have a transaction with other country like Singapore or maybe USD, then basically system will auto detect if the code is matched with the HTN one. So what you need to do is just to come to this screen to verify whether the currency code is mapped correctly. If you think the currency code is mapped wrongly, then you can basically change it by yourself. All right, so if everything is in place, basically you don't need to do anything definitely on this screen. So just move to the next mapping, UOM, unique measure. You know that in our system actually it's a free text field for the UOM. You can maintain multiple, for example, maybe pieces, right? You can put PCS, you can put PIECE. But to LHDN, they maybe do not know what is PCS, what is PIECE. Okay, same thing. You can just click on the drop down, and then for example, maybe my piece, I just need to search also piece to see which one is more relevant to my unit of measurement. So from here, you can see there's a list of pieces. So maybe I just want to use the standard one. So I would just select this one, #87 piece. That's it, done. All right. So now, assuming all the configuration is being in place and completed, I'm ready to submit the invoice to LHDN. So how to do that? Let's move to the outgoing dashboard. All right. So by default, the status is review only. So meaning every transaction which is not transmitted to LHDN or not be approved by your manager, it will under review. All right. So you, of course, you can switch to other document status by clicking on this one. You can see on my screen, I already have some of my document validated. I also have some of my transaction under consolidated, and then I also have some transaction is already approved by my manager but pending for me to transmit to LHDN. Then of course, sometime maybe I have some mistake in my transaction. My manager could also disapprove the transaction, ask me to make some changes to the transaction before I transmit, right? So you can actually mouse over to see what is the reason why my manager rejected these transactions. All right, so assuming I already know the quantity is wrong, then I don't need to go to other screen, just say within this eInvoice console and then click on view transactions. And basically I can just make the change on the fly. So I know actually what's wrong already. Maybe I just change the quantity from 10 to 20, click on save. You can see now the status will be back to review again. So now I can just quickly ask my manager, okay, manager, Mr. Manager, okay, now my changes has been done. So please review again. Then your manager will come to the screen and check everything is okay. What they need to do is click on approve. That's it. All right. So when I see the transaction is ready for transmitted, meaning it's already approved. So I mean, for my better checking, I can actually simply click on the status to approve only. Then I know, okay, which transaction actually is ready for me to transmit. All right, so for my cases now, I can see just now the invoice maybe is 125, or sorry, maybe the 2005 one. So I just want to test it out for this transaction. So just click on transmit. So basically you see the processing information, and we are just transmitting to HDN now. So transmitted. So the next step, you can see the status is changing from approved to submitted. But you need to click on the get status to get the latest status from LHDN to see whether this transaction has been validated. Sometimes it may take some time. So when the time you click on this get status button, you can see there's a message saying that 0 record updated. So do not worry, because sometimes LHDN side they may take some time also to verify the document. So you just maybe take some time or so. I mean, a few minutes later, click on the get status again, then you can see, yeah, the one record updated. And if I change it now to validated, I can see the transaction is validated successfully. And I am sure that you will notice also there's a little small icon here. So what is the purpose for this little small icon? We understand that maybe you transmitted a batch of the invoices, and then maybe you're not sure also which invoice the validated PDF has been shared to your customer. So that's why we provide these small little features just to assist you, to tell you that, okay, if you see this small little icon, you will know that, okay, I already share my PDF to my customer. All right, so before I show you the PDF, I just want to show you that after the invoice has been transmitted successful, you basically enhance the system to allow you to click on the validation link column. So just click on it. Then basically system will just bring you over to the My Invoice portal to show you this is the summary of your validated invoice. So the same thing when you share the PDF with the embedded QR code to the customer, when they scan the customer, they will see the same thing. All right. So this is one extra enhancement just for you to really write the document before you share the QR to your customer. All right. So for example, if let's say you really want to send this validated invoice to your customer, so just click on the three dot. And you can see for those validated invoice, we will actually help you to create one PDF, included the QR code inside. And then just click on the PDF. And you can see this is the QR. So when your customer or maybe yourself scan the QR, you can see the same screen that I showed just now, which is this one, same output. Then of course, if you really want to check the output in your My Invoice portal, then okay, you can do so. So assuming now you already go to My Invoice portal, and then this is the document list. So we're showing you whether you actually submitted from your system or maybe you received from your supplier. All right, so if you want to check, so let's check the invoice number. So this one is #SINV 0010, which is the one we have submitted just now. This one, all right? So the amount is 2,540. So I want to verify whether the amount submitted from UBS is correct. So I can just go to this screen and let's just click on this UUID. So you can verify your supply invoice, which is the one in your company profile, and then the buyer is the customer. And then you can just verify this is the item line, and then you can see the classification code that you have mapped to your item. You also can check from here. All right, included the measurement, the UM that we mapped just now, remember? And of course, the final amount is also matched with the one in UBS. All right. All right, so this is for the standard invoice. Then, of course, according to government, you have actually 6-month grace period to do the consolidated invoice, right? And now we also enhance the system for you to do the consolidated invoice. And what's the difference between the standard invoice and also the console invoice? So in the standard invoice screen, you basically can select also multiple transaction. But in fact, when you transmit to the LHDN My Invoice portal, then we actually treat it as a batch transmission. But for the consolidated, it's basically we will group all the selected invoice into a single e-invoice and transmit as a one single document. All right, so I can show you. So assuming now I already have some of the transactions ready for me to transmit for the consolidation. So before I can transmit as console, first thing I need to make sure I select all these transactions. And then I need to click on the consolidate button. All right. Once click, then you can see my transaction has been changed from the status has been changed from approved to consolidated. So that means this transaction is not submitted as a standard e-invoice, but we group under consolidated and do the submissions. All right. And after that, you can go to consolidated tab, and you can see I have my draft version of the consolidated created. So why draft? Because we want you to verify before you transmit, right? So what to verify? Just click on the 3 dot and then view list. So basically, this is the transaction you have grouped under this console, I would say consolidated group. All right. So, and we also, according to HTM, basically they don't allow different currency transaction to be grouped under the same console invoice. So that's why just now you can actually see me to select. Actually, I have selected maybe multiple transaction. For example, maybe 6 transactions, and then 4 of them actually is under MYR currency, Malaysia Ringgit, and 2 of them is under SGD. So when I click on console, actually the system is smart enough for to help you to split into 2 different consoles. So that's why on the screen you can see under the dot currency, we do have the first group is for the MYR, and then the second group is for the SGD. All right. So when you click on this, here you go. Then of course, sometimes maybe you say, okay, I want to adjust maybe some of the transaction before I already transmit this console. Then okay, of course, the system should allow you to do so. What you need to do is just to make sure you remove the current console group, and then back to the transaction that you want to edit. For example, maybe just group by approve again. Then yeah, maybe I want to adjust it 15 invoice. So some people may have a question like, after approve, you still allow me to do the editing. So what happened to my approved transaction? Maybe my manager is not aware of that changes. So no worries, I will show you. So for example, same thing, maybe because of the quantity is different. So I just change quantity and save. And you can see now my transaction is being changed from approved to review only. So I need to, my manager need to review again the changes before I really can transmit. So same thing, go to approve, select all, console. So for your case, if you have not submit any invoice yet and you really want to group everything under the invoice, under the console invoice, what you need to do is filter the date range and then click on select all, click on console, system will help you to do the grouping. All right, so the next step is verify again to see if the changes is correct. So if everything is okay, just simply click on the checkbox, transmit. the same thing like what you did for your standard e-invoice. All right, so transmitted, then you can see the transaction, the status is changing from review to submitted. So same thing, get status, validated. You can see that if your configuration and mapping is doing correctly and maintained completely, doing an invoice is just few second job. All right, so after validated, same thing, you can see there's a validation link coming back. Check the details whether it's correct. So 27,955. Yeah, same, match, pass. All right. So now we also understand that maybe some of the user may concerned about the authorized people, because you want to allow the authorized people to maybe to do the console. I don't want everybody to do the submission. Then of course we also allow you to set the user define for the user ID that can access to this invoice console. All right, so from here you can go to administration, user define invoice. And from here you can see these are the list of the user defined that you can set to your user either by user ID or maybe by user PIN group. Okay, so you're also wondering what is different between configuration and configuration authorized approval. So assuming today my company have two different staff, right? So staff number A and staff number B. So I want the user A to have the access right to the configuration, but I don't want to assign him as an approval. So from this screen, you can just simply untick or maybe assign the rights to the staff number B. So for example, you can say I don't want maybe A to have the rights to approve. So from here, I just exit. So come back to the same screen. Maybe I just issue a new invoice again. You can see whatever you enter actually will auto flow to this screen. So you don't need to worry, you need to transfer this and that. No. All right. So again, to ease myself to change the review only. So although this transaction is pending for approval, but because I don't have rights to approve, so that's why when I go this three dot button, I don't have them approve and the disapprove menu. Unless my manager or maybe my admin go to system and help me to set the rights again, and I can see the rights now and approve. All right. Thank you. I think that's wrap up my
Self-build.
Okay. Yeah. So we talked about the standard e-invoice and also the consolidated e-invoice, and now I will show you how to issue the self-bill invoice. All right, it's basically the same thing like what you did for your normal purchase invoice, just that you need to mark the transaction as self-bill. All right, and yeah, just go to purchase invoice and then select the supplier. And then make sure you mark this checkbox self-bill. Some people may say that, okay, because I'm using a service item, so I don't have item. So what you need to do is just to make sure you create a service item in the billing side and then assign the MSIC code and also the classification code. Yeah, then just do the normal purchase invoice like what you did before. And then if you actually auto flow, do the outgoing dashboard, the same thing. So outgoing dashboard, self-bill. All right. I think that's wrap up my presentation. Back to you, Irene.